All right, I'm here with Michael Selander from the experimental projects team at Stripe, which I think is one of the coolest teams, and it certainly sounds like one of the coolest teams. Um, Actually, can you tell me a little bit about what your team does in general?
Sure, yeah. The experimental projects team is really about building new ideas that we don't know if they're good ideas yet or not. So
Awesome.
we say anything that we don't know if it's something that we want to build or not. We'll build it, we'll prototype it, and we'll show it to users and get people's feedback and see kind of where it goes from there.
Very cool. You guys are the mad scientists of Stripe.
That's right.
Very
We
cool.
try to be. Try to be.
Awesome. So we will be talking about Stripe projects and the new build command that just came out for Stripe projects. But for those unfamiliar, could you tell us a little bit about what Stripe projects is and how that came about?
Yeah, so Stripe Projects is a command line interface that we built. The goal was to make it easy to set up accounts and provision resources when you're building a new project. So we found a lot of people they'd use an AI agent to build a product. You know, they'd build a SaaS app or a website. And then when it came time to actually deploy it, to actually set up a database and actually put it on the web, you kind of have to do this dance where you go to 5 different websites and sign up for a database and sign up for a web hosting platform. And we said, what if we could just let yourself or your agent do that for you?
And pull the end bars. That's always a pain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to go copy and paste, and that's what projects does is you say, hey, I want a database, I want hosting, I want analytics provider, AI provider, whatever it is. And it'll go create those accounts for you and pull in all those environment variables so you can deploy your project.
So it sounds like there's a lot of providers already on projects. Like what sorts of providers are available?
Yeah, there's, I mean, really anything that you need to be able to build a project. So we have database providers, hosting providers, communication providers, email, we analytics providers, AI providers. Those are the big categories, but there's so many more. Like there's dozens of providers that do really just about anything that you need.
What inspired you to do the Stripe projects build command as an add-on to projects?
Yeah, so that's some new functionality we released recently. One of the things that we noticed was when people start a new project, a lot of the times they're building a lot of the same stuff before they actually get to building their thing. So whenever you start a new project, you're usually going to want a database. You're usually going to want authentication so your users can sign up. You're usually going to want to be able to host it somewhere. And we found that before you could actually build your actual project, you often would have to write some boilerplate code to connect it all together. To create a login page that then connects to your dashboard page, that connects to your database, and have it all working together. And we said, rather than you can build that from scratch, but rather than doing that and starting completely from scratch, what if we gave you the opportunity to just have a basic boilerplate that you could then start from that point and build your product on top of? So it's really about making it faster and easier for people to build their own projects.
Okay. So how does the build command actually work?
Yeah, great question. So we have these templates. It's completely open source, so anyone can create a template. And basically, a template is a combination of a couple of different things. One, it's source code that is used to start your project, and two, it's a list of projects providers that are included in the template. So each time you use the build command, it basically pulls the template that you want, and then provisions all of the different providers for that template. So by using both of those, it really gives you a totally fully working application that you can then build your application on top of.
Wow. So then what's the difference about between using the template from the build command and say just pulling down a GitHub starter repo?
Yeah, great question. They're pretty similar, except for we really found there's a lot of power in using this directly with Stripe projects because it can all happen automatically. So because your template is directly integrated with the Stripe projects providers, all the environment variables will match up. And you can just instantly pull down this template, provision all the accounts with your own account, and have everything good to go. And really just making that all work seamlessly so that in 1 to 2 minutes you can have your application working with all of the different providers is worth magic.
Very cool. Because yeah, if you pull a repo down, you're still gonna figure out what's it using, like, how do I get those variables?
Yeah,
And yeah,
exactly.
that makes sense.
It's still that last mile piece where it's like, oh, I
Right.
have this starter. Now I have to go and collect environment variables, which is a problem that we solved with projects.
Well, so say, okay, I'm building, I want to build a SaaS app, but I don't quite know what to build yet. Like, is there a flow that helps me find the right template?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of our most common use cases is people say, "Hey, I want to build something. I have a general idea. Show me some options." So we actually let you, if you just run Stripe projects build, it'll ask you a few questions like, "Okay, what kind of app are you building? Is it a SaaS app? Is it a one-time payment app? Is it just like a landing page?" And other questions like, do you have a preferred stack that you want to use? Maybe you really like Next.js or you really like React or whatever it is. And what are your traffic expectations? Is this like a hobby project or is this like something that you expect to have a lot of users right off the bat? And then we show you some templates that might be interesting. Oh, these 4 or 5 templates all match exactly what you described as kind of your filter. And then you can go through and select which one that makes the most sense for your project.
Very cool. Okay, so I mean, we know, like, yeah, you mentioned these different providers and like building a Next.js app, for example. Like, we know those are constantly getting updated.
Yeah.
I mean, any software you use is probably getting updated right now as we speak. Um, so, how, if any of those updates change the template, how do those changes then get passed on to developers?
Yeah, that's a really great question. That was something that was really important to us from the start. Is we've Stripe has provided the infrastructure in order to make this possible, but it's totally community and open source driven. So all of the templates live open source. We have a registry that kind of collects them all together and feeds them into our command line interface. But anyone can contribute a template. It's very easy. You basically just have to put it up on GitHub and then make a small pull request into our registry saying, "Hey, here's my template. Here's what it uses," and anyone can contribute. And then when things change or when things update, you can update the template and indicate in the registry that it's been updated and create a new version of that template.
Okay, very cool. So, like, any new user will be pulling down the latest version of that template, and then, yeah, as they update the command, they'll get new
Exactly.
versions. Okay,
Yeah,
very
you'll
cool.
always get the latest version that's been added to the registry.
Okay, so okay, that's awesome. So you mentioned it's open source, everything's available on GitHub. How do users know they can trust these templates and that there's no like malicious code in there?
Yeah, it's all powered. It's all part of the open source community. So first off, you can inspect the code yourself and have a look. We also review the templates that make it into our command line interface registry to ensure there's no obvious malware or anything that wouldn't align with what Stripe supports. Um, but it's pretty open to the community for anything that isn't malware or isn't something that's harmful to users. We would love to accept into our registry.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I think that's great, and users should, if you have an idea for a template, you should go out. What is the repo that they can then
Y-
upload
Yeah,
their template to?
if you go onto projects.dev/templates, you can see all of the templates that we have, and there's also a link to the GitHub repo that has where you can actually add your template to the project.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. So yeah, if you have an idea for a template, please go to projects.dev slash templates and put it out there for the world to use.